Hi, team. I'm Fitz, your host of the OC Marathon Show and one of your very noisy race announcers. And we are so excited about this episode because this time we get to gush about all the exciting fun we had over the past weekend. I want to tell everyone that Facebook is having some weird connection issues. So if you lose us, go directly to OC Marathon on YouTube. There's no reason this show should disappear over there. So once again, welcome. And if you have any connection issues with Facebook, go directly to OC Marathon on YouTube. Kelsey, maybe you could write that in the comment section so everybody gets it just in case. All right. So I'm really excited to talk about it, but there's three other far more interesting guests than I. So here they come. We've got race director Gary Kutcher, race announcer Rudy Novotny, and program director Kelsey Peterson. Hi, team.
Hello.
Fitz, how are you?
I'm thrilled. Although I'm kind of sad. I still wish we were back at the OC. I hate that it's over.
Well, it's good to see Rudy because we didn't get to see him as much this year as normal. So I think that I'm looking forward to May just to have the team back together.
Sad I feel like we were back.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and you know what? You create a real team atmosphere, Gary, and we work a lot of wonderful places, but you and Kelsey do an extraordinary job of making sure your staff feels like a team, and we all just really love being with you guys. That's where the loyalty comes from.
Well, thank you. Listen, it's kind of like a family coming together. And after I said it a few times that weekend, but it was someone pointed out 915 days or something really close to that. So to finally get back together and to see you guys and see the rest of our family, I'll call them, people who come and help us every year to make it happen. It was really, really nice to see.
What percentage of a return rate do you have for your staff? Ops people, Rudy and I included.
Oh gosh, Kelsey, I mean, it's got to be.
I would say like
95%.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it's most people have worked with us before, or it's their first time. So yeah, we had to bring in a few new ones this year, but we'll bring them back again.
Yeah, I think this was a tough year for many reasons. For just sheer numbers, sharing the date with LA was obviously there's only so many runners, and so I think we both kind of took runners from each other to a certain extent, and that also does kind of play into those folks that go out and work these races. There's a lot of people out there. It's one of those behind the scenes things that there's a lot of people who just really take joy in helping produce the races, or at least be one of the helpers out there, and they really know their stuff. It's important. It's not like you just can't bring someone in. When you have someone that knows exactly how the finish line should look, or what the process is for putting bike fencing together and moving things around efficiently, those are things that just don't happen when you see it one time. And so these are people, and in our case, we have some amazing people who are in their own worlds. They're high up in important companies, and they come out and help us. And it's every year I'm just like, I can't believe that this person or that person is here when, yesterday they're, on the C-suite level of another company. It's pretty crazy.
All right. So just a heads up, we just had that big fail on Facebook. So hopefully everyone has gone over to YouTube. Kelsey, did you put up that message?
I'll do it right now.
Okay. Hopefully they'll get that message.
Rudy, don't you have your MySpace account? We can go there.
Yeah, that's a backup to the backup to the backup.
That's a really good idea, Gary. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's a great idea. I'm speechless. Oh.
All right. So listen, Facebook be damned. We're still live on YouTube and we haven't really lost many people. So instead of just talking about how wonderful our weekend was, and Tony Solis just jumped in to gush about how much fun he had, I'm going to let people see how much fun we had. So hang there. Here we go. So rockin'.
Rocking.
Wow. That was really, I'm going to have to say thank you to Ginger Bean, right?
That's right. Ginger Bean Kohler
Oh,
put together that video.
Well,
Great
thank
job.
you to Ginger Bean. That was really good.
That was great.
Well,
That could have lasted another minute or two, and I was just smiling big.
Well, you know what? We've got more in store, Gary.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. The second that smile starts to go away, bam, I'm just going to turn it on.
Kelsey and I. So that's fantastic.
All right. So, Gary, we'll start with you. What was your one of your favorite parts of this weekend? Fond memories. And anyone who's watching, if you have anything you'd like to share, great experience, big laugh, whatever, go ahead and share it with us. So, Gary, you first.
Well, it may sound kind of the obvious, but getting back together and seeing everyone for the first time in so long, maybe some of it is because of the OC Marathon show that you've been doing with us, that I think Kelsey and I both had a lot of people come up to us and just thank us for putting this back on again. So I think more than anything else, seeing the expo come together, we've been to some of the races that had either an outdoor expo or a much reduced footprint or whatever. And we kind of made it feel like it was normal again. And so I think we heard a lot of comments from people just walking through the expo saying, this is just so good. We had great vendors there. And walking around the festival after the 5K, before people would just come up and say, Gary, thank you. Kelsey, thank you. I mean, it was really pretty cool. So that would be my favorite take from the whole weekend, was just seeing so many smiling faces. Your video there just showed a good part of it, and that's only a fraction of it. So that's got to be my number one.
Well, I love that you're getting that feedback, because Rudy and I are the forward-facing people for your races, but you guys are the ones who slave away 365 days a year to make it great. So I'm glad you're finally getting that connection with the people you work so hard for.
Yeah. And, I mentioned some of those other weekend people, but you guys know Jody and Lisa so well, and so many of other people. And Kelsey and I could not do any of this. And any of those people that are saying thank you for what we do, it really would not happen without our team that includes so many good people, but the organization aspect of making sure that things happen, that roads get closed, that volunteers are available. Those really do come from the girls that book that event, and what they do for us, it's immeasurable. So
yeah, absolutely.
So Rudy, what did you think about the expo?
Well, let me tell you. Well, first thing, I want to mirror Gary's comments in that just people were walking around, and I, a lot of them at the expo, and they were just happy to be back, happy to be at an expo. And Gary, your expo was bigger than one that's across the pond, kind of by our other noisy friend there. It was way bigger. I thought it was awesome having the Ford dealers there. Was super cool. I thought the expo was really, really good. Very, very well done. There was tons of refreshment there. It was a really, really good expo, and I think people really enjoying it. Now, let me go back to a comment about feedback about the show, or I should say the shows. I'm walking around with Fitz, and people are going, "Oh my God, I love your show!" She was getting so much, really, just so much feedback. I really think that those efforts made a strong connection, and there was a lot of return people week to week to week to week, week to week, and anything like that creates even a pre-race sense of community and excitement. Just amazing. But that's the thing I noticed. It's like, Fitz, I love your show.
Hey, it's another opportunity to just go on, Rudy.
No. That's it. And it was also bigger than one that was slightly north of you, the expo, and kind of more diverse.
It was bigger
Well,
than Boston
thank you.
Marathon Expo. I can say that. I don't work there. I would just, attended. It was the biggest expo we've been a part of since March of 2020. So kudos for the great expo. What about you, Kelsey?
Well, to kind of pop on Gary's comment about people being excited to be there, I think, Friday, Saturday, we're usually confronted with some complainers for a variety of reasons. And I felt like this year, even the people who had something to say were actually very so kind and so grateful before they were complaining, or even if they were complaining, they were just grateful to be there. I don't remember one person the whole weekend doing any kind of complaining, which is just a testament to the fact they want to be there. They're excited about being there. So that was refreshing, I'd say.
Yeah, refreshing.
Sure. And then I think yeah.
No, go
the
on,
volunteers
Kelsey.
as well. Yeah, the volunteers as well all seemed very excited to be there. We had tons of volunteers. I know that was a stressor for us for a minute, if we're going to get enough volunteers. And I think they were there. They were excited to be there. So that was a good thing.
Now, Rudy, you only got to hang out with us on Friday and Saturday, right? Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. What were your favorite parts?
Well, I was just happy to be able to participate, even in a small way. I want to keep my legacy standing. So I want it noted that I was there. I might have not been quite there on Sunday, but I really liked the change of the start. The 5K start, I thought that worked very well. Kind of, funneled everybody out right to the party zone at the end. And from what I saw, people seemed to stick around and enjoy the music. The music was great, super fun. And the 5K was, as it has been, just a precursor to all the big doings on Sunday. So it was great to be there. I was really happy to be with you guys. Thank you for that opportunity, and I can't wait for next year. Yay!
Yeah.
Well, Kelsey and I had a vote today, and so we agreed that you maintained your legacy status. So congratulations.
Okay.
It was
good. Thank you.
It was 1-1 for a minute, and I had to turn her over.
I don't even need to know which way that went. I'm pretty sure I understand. Thank you, Kelsey. Thanks for sticking by me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I got to tell you, one of my favorite things is being able to squish my favorite Californians again. I mean, clearly we had a lot of people from around the country show up, but you guys are there with all the great California people, and I'm all the way as far as you can be on the other side of the country. So to get my hands on some of our favorite OC runners, I mean, one of the things Rudy and I talk about every year is that it's like a family reunion, not just with the staff, but or forget a family reunion, almost like a high school reunion, as everybody gets together at the OC, and it's just warm and fuzzies galore. I had so many people not just do one hug, but like we had the 15 hug thing where you're like, goodbye, hug, see you tomorrow, hug, 17 more hugs later. It's the people, right?
Well, it was really funny watching you announce, and you'd be looking out the crowd, saying a name, and all of a sudden you'd set the mic, or you carry, and all of a sudden you run down the stairs and run out in front, and then run out. And next thing you know, you're running in with somebody and then hugging. So it really was kind of like a family reunion. You were seeing people coming in, and you were running in with them. It was really funny. So if people didn't see that, Fitz, you probably put 20,000 steps on that day just running up and running in with people. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. I just like to get down. It's interesting. I understand that there's some people I should just stay out of their way, because some people have no idea who the heck I am. They didn't even see me on the stage in the morning, and they would probably be like, who is this crazy woman? But then some of your athletes are really very warm and welcoming, and I'm running in strangers I've never met before. I get lots of sweaty hugs, and instead of being grossed out, I'm excited by the sweat all over my face. And I know we're supposed to be avoiding germs, but I want them. I want all of your runners to smear their germs on me as often as possible. So
it was really good. All those things, the people were totally the best. So we love that.
Okay, so your gear is great. Everybody looked fantastic in the gear. Did you get a lot of good feedback on that?
We did.
Yeah, I think people love the white pullovers.
Yeah, we
for sure.
We even had someone come today to pick up something else, and he made mention. I couldn't believe we got this white pullover as part of our, and you got a shirt and you got this, but wow, that white pullover, it was such a surprise. Now, it shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody. We only been talking about it for the last 6 months, but it was still a surprise to some people. But yeah, and we didn't have a lot of merchandise, but what we had, I thought, was really good. You guys, I think Rudy's sporting something there. I can't see what you're wearing there, Fitz, but Rudy is. Oh yeah, look at there you go.
Yeah, that's what,
and you had that cute white shirt with the orange and.
Yes, that's adorable. Yeah.
You know what? I love stuff like that. All the beachy stuff, the natural fibers, the cotton, I think is a really good match with your brand. The trucker hats, it's all very California cool.
I didn't get anything. I told Kelsey, Rudy and Fitz got all kinds of good stuff. I didn't get anything. She said, we can still get that.
Well, just to plug it, there's still a lot available online. So if anyone wants to go shopping and check out all the cool gear, we still have all of it available online, and we'll ship it right to you.
Yeah.
Even you, Gary.
Aw.
I'll come in. I'll save you shipping.
All right. So this is my favorite part of the weekend. And I love start lines. And I love the finish line too. And I love all the other stuff. But my favorite part about the start line is the fact that it's the only time throughout the entire weekend where we're all together. We never have that again at the finish. Maybe someone finishes and leaves, but at the start line, we get it all. And to explain to our viewers, usually the way this situation works on Sunday morning is that Rudy and I, we go through morning announcements, be silly together. Heels go for the marathon for 2 waves, and then we do it over again for 30 minutes. And then Rudy will yell, go a couple times for the first 2 corrals. And then he and Gary leave and go to the finish line. And I get to stay at the start line where I like to be, where I'm supposed to be. And then because of LA, Rudy was gone. And then before the start, our ops guy, Toby, who's just a doll, he said, hey, I'm here to take over at the start line after corral 2. And I said, no, you're not. He goes, yeah, that's why I'm here. I was like, I'm not leaving the start line, Toby. So Toby went over to the finish line. I guess we hadn't discussed it, but I said, I'm not leaving the start line. And then it was so fun because I think our corrals were extra enthusiastic this year. Do you agree, Kelsey?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they were really excited. I got to walk through them all because I was trying to pass out those beach balls and trying to get people excited. And yeah, people were excited for sure. They didn't want to use all their air for the beach balls, which was unfortunate, but they were excited. Next year. Yes.
So we kind of have a fever pitch here. And after I yell go for the second crowd, Gary goes, okay, let's leave. No. He's like, no, we got to go. It's like, it's only 8:15 or 7:15. I can't leave. So Gary and I have this back and forth. I'm like, we have time. And we had 4 more corrals to go. So poor Gary, because I dug in my heels and I was like, I promise we'll be there on time, but I couldn't leave. And I could see the stress on your face partially, Gary. You're kind of like, but then also, yay, when you saw our athletes.
We went ahead and put 5 and 6 together.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rudy, I don't know if you guys probably just totally always agree completely, but I was saying, Fitz, we got to go. Because Rudy, I want to get to the finish line. You never know what's going to happen there, right? We've got a guy who is running really fast. I mean, all these front guys. So we got to get there by 7 o'clock, 6:50. That really, I don't know later than that, because I want to test the microphone. I want to make sure that she gets up there okay. If there's an issue with the reader mats, we won't go into that, or anything else. I want to make sure it's done right. And you never know with that much traffic out there we might come up against. So I'm like, Fitz, we got to go. So as soon as the 5th and 6th corrals went together, I grabbed her around the waist and said, okay, we're going now. And I grabbed her and started pulling her off the stage. Got her in the car. She was right. We got there with plenty of time because it just worked out perfectly. But that's not always the case. And I wanted her there to call that first male runner in. And it turned out he broke the course record.
Oh, wow.
105.19. And that was a fantastic moment. But I want to get there. I got to get the finish line tapes ready. I got to get the people ready saying, okay, are you guys ready to hold the tape? Representatives from SDCCU, San Diego County Credit Union, our title sponsor. I wanted to get them ready to go at the finish line. And Fitz is saying, one more, Gary, one more. So we compromised, and I waited the last one, but then I snatched her.
Well, two things. I've never been carried off a stage before, so that was hilarious. I was like, yay! And he just grabs me underneath the rib cage and spins me around, which is very, very fun. But aren't you so glad you stayed? We stayed because that was a hell of a good time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really, really good. They did appreciate seeing you up there. She even tried to make me dance, and I really did not. I mean, that's just not my thing, up there, but so I did it, and I shook her around a little bit. And so
you did a great job. And as we know, that's the risk in hiring me, is you must at some point have a dance solo.
So that was all good. No, that was a great start line. I mean, it really was. There was a ton of energy there. And what was, as soon as, I think actually what's really kind of interesting is when you said, okay, cheer, the corral 1 was like, corral 2 was a little louder, but you're right. When you get to corral 3 and corral 4, I mean, they are ready to party, have a good time.
Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking that you always miss it because especially your half marathon corrals are specifically fun. I mean, aren't I right, Kelsey? He misses the best part every year.
Yeah, they are pretty fun. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, people that want to come and forget going 13.1 or 26.2. If people want to have a lot of fun at a race, that's what OC means to me. And we see a bunch of different races. But Rudy, wouldn't you say it's beach party? We got the bands, we got the ocean, we got the crazy start and finish.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's just, I think it's iconic for that. And so talk about starting line. So I'm in LA and, we've got like 11,000 plus. We got a pretty good corral, it's pretty full. And I had some great music courtesy of Fitz. She put together 2 amazing pieces to do before the elite women went off and the elite men went off. And they were just freaking perfect. And they really got energy going. And I'm bopping and I'm all excited. And then I get a text from Fitz that says, how's your start line? And I see this video and it's like a rave. I was like, wait a minute, that's not it. Wait a minute. I'm kind of looking down everything and people are just going crazy. So, kudos to her, but also I think a real good indication that people just love what you guys put together there and they feel it and they respond that way. It's special. It really is. It's spectacular.
We also had really good weather and the sun was coming up perfectly. So it felt like a moment,
It was. And I actually really liked the mayors. Sometimes we get super duds when these mayors come up at various races and they want to say some boring words and the whole experience is just boring. But the mayors you brought up were really fun.
No, they really were. Mayor of Newport Beach, I actually had a fallback with the mayor pro tem there just in case, but Mayor Avery came up and he was really into it. His wife was with him and she was enjoying it. It was really nice. And then Mayor pro tem Andrea Marr from Costa Mesa, she came out and said, you guys all may be in Newport Beach right now, but you're all going to have the smiles and finish in Costa Mesa. So that was a really great line, and she had a blast up there. So you're right. That's really neat. We've had mayors before that are, they kind of do their obligatory things, but it's really not that much fun. And those mayors had fun. So
yeah, they were great. We have a video footage of them like clapping and dancing. They're invited back if I have any. Sad. Yay to those mayors. I don't know what their politics are, but we'll invite them back, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think this is a really good time to watch another video. What do you think?
Perfect.
I'd love to.
Go for
after
it.
the first one.
Here it comes. Brought to you by Ginger Bean Cola.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Good job, Ginger.
How can people not register? Look what they missed. I mean, if you're out there right now, I saw somebody a moment ago said they registered already for May. I can't remember his name, but thank you for that. And everyone get registered for May right now. Prices are going up in about there he is, Albert. So prices are going up next week, and we sent an email out today, but get registered. We're going to have even more fun next year. And the full marathon's back. So I just can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna have a really good time. So there was a few people. Oh, love the first photo. I think you were in it, Philip. So Philip's one of the great presents for Rudy and I. We got to know Philip. He introduced himself at my book signing, and he said, "I'm Philip," and I was like, "Philip, what's your last name?" And he said, "Perez," and I was like, "I know you. You watch the OC Marathon show." So he was a great gift, very cool guy, and he's definitely going to come back in May. But the Dos Amigos. Tell us all about the Dos Amigos. They're there every year, and they're so much fun, Gary.
Well, Jim and Dan, they have there every year, and they have a blast. I mean, they carry on their waist little tequila bottles, like from airplanes or whatever, and they're tequila, and then on their hat they have little
sombrero.
Sombrero, yeah. On the sombrero, yeah, of course. Thank you. And so they have their shot glasses, and they have a blast. So they've been doing it now for, I don't know, 8-9 years. And one year they came to an expo, and we had used their picture on one of our backdrops. And when they come to the expo, they're not wearing their sombrero or anything, right? And so like, hey, that's us. Can we have that when you're finished with it? So a couple of years ago, I invited them over to my house and gave them the backdrop that they were on. And so then when COVID hit last year, they invited me. I did not participate, but they created a new run that starts in Seal Beach at the Seal Beach Pier. And they run down to the end of the pier and then run back to the beach trail. And they start running south, and they get to Huntington Beach, and they go to the end of the Huntington Beach Pier and then back, and then the beach trail south to Newport Beach and then Balboa. And then they come back and they hit a brewery, and it's called 4 Beers, 4 Piers. No, 4 Piers, 4 Beers Marathon. It's a great name. And so then they have 4 beers at the end of their 4 Piers and 4 Beers race. And it's not even a marathon. It's like 26.8 miles. And so the week before last, they actually did the Four Peers, Four Beers marathon, our virtual marathon. And I met them at the Four Brothers Brewing. Is that right, Kelsey? Four Sons?
Four Sons, yeah.
Four Sons. Oh,
Four
there
Sons.
you go. That's them at the VIP. And so I met them at Four Sons Brewing here in Huntington Beach and took them their marathon medals. And then they ran Sunday with the half marathon. And it was so stinking funny to see them coming in. And they were out there having a blast. I saw them at the start line also. And so it's just kind of a tradition now. They stop along the way, take pictures with everybody. And they get to the finish line, and typically they stop and pour themselves a shot and do a shot at the finish line. So it's pretty funny.
Yay!
Ole.
Ole!
And they run with the big inflatable bottle of tequila and a big chili pepper. Yeah. And so when we stopped to have a photo together, they had jerry rigged basically a handle for it, because I thought that's going to be awkward to run with this tequila bottle, but they've got grips now for it.
Oh, yeah.
Very well orchestrated.
They had to. It was too slick before when they start to sweat, so they had to figure that out. Pretty funny.
Now, Kelsey, have you ever run a race and drank alcohol during the race?
I've never drank alcohol during. I don't think so.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Gary?
Oh, yeah. I did the Carlsbad Marathon back when it was called the San Diego Marathon down where Rudy lives. And one year I had been sick and I wasn't having a good race. And right there on, what's the name of the road? It's not PCH. What's it called there right in Carlsbad?
Carlsbad Boulevard.
Okay. So, but it's right on the coast. And I'm coming up Carlsbad Boulevard from La Costa, I think, or however that race went at the time, or from Palomar Airport. And there's a group out there that is giving out beers. And I was having such a bad day, and I'm like, it can't get any worse. And so I drank a beer at like mile 24. And I'm just going to say it got a lot worse.
Oh, no.
It really did. It got a lot worse. It was just the worst thing I could possibly do. And so never again. Never again.
No, it doesn't.
I actually think I did have a fireball shot on the Avon walk, but it was like a walk, first of all, so that doesn't quite do your stomach quite as much. And it was mile 39, so it was the last mile of that one.
Holy mackerel. Yeah. And then what about you, Rudy?
No, never happened. Never happened. After race, sure, but not during. America's Finest City half marathon used to have a margarita station and a cheeseburger slider station. And I never participated in either. And it was pre-sobriety for me. So, you know.
Like, sure.
Yeah, hey, no, but I didn't. So, no, I don't know how people do that. These beer runs, that's amazing. I don't know how they do it physically.
Yeah.
Have you guys have all heard of the Beta Breakers up in San Francisco?
Yes.
And they used to have these they used to call them centipede groups or whatever, but they had these groups that would all run together, and they had like 6 guys that would go, and it'd be like a bar. They had like a bar around them, and they would so they're running, and it's like a moving bar with 6 guys that are making the bar move, and you could get little drinks from them while they're cruising the streets of San Francisco. That was crazy to see that. So, you know, there's some fun people out there, but I'm never going to drink again in a race. No way.
No, I think I might be able to swing maybe 1 beer for a 5K. I could go all crazy, but anything beyond that would wreck me. I wouldn't be a lot of fun. Less fun. So I was looking at the pictures of the start or the finish line photos that we went through, and JJ Santana setting a new course record. How often does that happen, Gary?
The last in 2019, we had a new record in a 5K, but the half marathon was broken in 2016. We had 2 records set in 2016. Daniel Tech-LeBron, I think, set what had been the half marathon record. And then that was broken this weekend with JJ. JJ had come in from Las Vegas,
right?
Yeah, and just absolutely the nicest guy. And he had just ran 63 last year, so I knew he had the ability to do it. And I learned from him that he had talked to his coach, and they knew what the time was to break. And so we kind of went out at a pace that was certainly quite a bit slower than what he could run, and maintained it. And he came around the last little bit. It's kind of that angled finish, and then we have a really long finish line chute. So you can see that it's a 1/10 of a mile, and so he could see the thing. And he said he thought he was going to be too late. So if you saw the video, if you watched him come in, he was sprinting in, but he still broke it by 10 seconds. So it was fantastic. And then I didn't realize he was so close to Roosevelt, Roosevelt Cook, who's been there so many times in the past. And him and Roosevelt just old buddies. So it was a good little reunion for them as well.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Roosevelt and I, we have a long history of dancing together at finish lines. I really enjoy his willingness to celebrate, because sometimes people come through, they win a race and they don't even look up, they don't smile, they're just all phooey. I think if I won any sort of race, there would be confetti shooting out of my nose and all sorts of exciting things. So Roosevelt does it right. I think he knows how to celebrate properly.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he was dancing, spinning like he had just went to a club, and yet he had just finished a 108, 107, 108 half marathon. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. They all are. And I thought it was very funny. So as our runners are out on the course, we're tracking them. We're trying to get a heads up on who may come through first, who the lead athletes are. Well, our 3rd place finisher, was her name Liz Cammy?
Liz Cammy.
Yeah. So for some reason, her name didn't come up for me at the 10-mile marker or whatever. So she finishes, and I don't see her name on the thing. I said, Gary, come here. I didn't know if she cut the course. I didn't know her. I didn't know if she cheated, what was going on, but her name wasn't there. I thought, how did she, leap ahead of all these people? And Gary was so cute. He was like, I know her. Yeah, she's a good Christian girl. She's not cutting the course.
She's won our race a couple times.
That's what I was going to say.
I think later that day, at least I saw on her Facebook, I think later that day she put on a cap and gown and got her doctorate or something. I mean, it was pretty amazing. So she's fantastic, great family. And she's been
her whole family was there with her too. So
her whole family was there with her, her daughter, and we've come to know her for years and years. So it was great to see her there. And she won it. When was she won it last? I mean, it's just been a couple of years ago that she won it. So it's always good. Those are also the people it's great to see come back out there again. And your elites, they went for a long time not having races. They were putting little even backyard races on, but they were putting little races where they couldn't even announce they would put races together just to have some competition, because the Olympics come every 4 years, and other this is their living as well. And so to get them back out there again, to see them and to put on a good race for them is really, really, I'm so grateful that we're able to do that.
Yeah, well, you certainly did. And they seem to have a great time. What about you, Kelsey? What did you see out there on race day?
Well, I got to kind of walk around the Finish Line Festival quite a bit to get pictures for sponsors and stuff. And I was walking around looking for good beer photos, not to bring up the beer again, but it was like, it was really easy to find pictures of people having fun. That was probably the easiest photo to find, was people dancing, people with friends, drinking beer. There were long lines at the beer. There were also long lines at the photo opportunities, which I've never noticed before. Tons of people wanting to get that like good photo moment. So yeah, I thought the finish line fun was what we like to see, what we work for. So that was super cool.
Yeah, that's always one of the things Rudy and I get a little bit jealous over. So there's nowhere we'd rather be but at the finish line where the race is. But on occasion we get a little peek at what's going on at the festival, and it's really fun.
Really, we hear, oh, that was the best finish line festival. How did you guys like it? We heard it was really good.
Yeah, but Rudy, Fitz got to come into VIP there and hang every once in a while and then go back. And so it's right there at our finish line. And we love when she's able to take a second and come in there.
Well, I didn't go to VIP at all until the race was until there was maybe 4 people out on the course and they were coming in every few minutes. Because they didn't have Rudy. Yeah. So Rudy had
good. And then I ran back out and found the last 3 runners and brought them in.
In your jeans.
In my jeans. I forgot. I was supposed, and I had my whole packet of gear, shorts and a running shirt, this year's running shirt and everything set out to take. And then, but it was 2:15 in the morning. And I just left it sitting there on my counter. And that's another interesting story. So it was a time change that night, right?
Right.
And so I set my alarm for 1:30 a.m. and I want to try to be at the bridge around 2:15 just to kind of see how things are there. And then I kind of drive backwards on the course. And then I go to the finish line and help start setting up the VIP and everything else around there. So I'm like, okay, I needed my alarm to be set for 1:30. Which is that's the same time every year. But if you set your iPhone for 1:30 on that night, then a half hour after your alarm's gone off, it's only 1 o'clock now because the time changes at 2 a.m. But if you set it for 2:30 a.m., then you're going to be late. So I had to set it. I had to use my timer and figure out what time is it. And so it's like, okay, I get 4 hours of sleep. So I got to go ahead and just set my timer for 4 hours. And then I set my second alarm for 2:01 so that in case the timer didn't wake me up, at least I would be set at 2:01. But it's pretty funny when you think about that. It's like I've never considered, how do you set your alarm for a time that's after the time change? Anyways, that was, it required some Saturday night math. I was trying to figure it out.
I'm sure very few people run into that situation.
So I have a question. Someone told us about the zombie out on your course, that the workers, the ops people meet the zombie out somewhere on your course. Was the zombie out this year?
Well, we don't know. It's going to be very interesting if we see him again in May, because this time the zombie is at mile 23, 23 is where the zombie is. The ghost zombie or ghost or whatever. And so he's been out there a few times and it freaks the guys out every time. So we didn't get to see the zombie this year, but I did find out today that we had a chicken running down the road. And on the radio it came across, it's like, hey, we have a chicken running down. What do we do about the chicken? And it's like, just let it go, But we had it. I don't know if it was crossing the street or not. Oh, you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry.
No, we really did. We had a chicken on the half marathon course. It's kind of interesting.
I love it. Hey, do you see in New York City they had a white Pekin duck like my handy?
Oh, did they?
A little white duck running on the course. Yes, it stole my heart. Yeah. So beyond the first finishers, I thought the rest of the finishers were spectacular. Almost all of them followed very clear instructions to celebrate their finish. We had such a happy group of runners as they completed their distance.
It was really great to see even the really last ones. Everyone was coming in happy. We had a lot of great vendors there with Dole Foods there for fruit cups and True Moon milk and tons of bananas and tons of Power Crunch. And then unfortunately, I think people were a little bit overly exuberant and were thinking they were at a grocery store and loading up the bag with way too many things. And some of the later runners came across, and we had Cure Water out there, which is just the best. They're a great partner in all of this. And so, yeah, a bunch of the snacks were taken by others. So I'm scrambling around. I went over to the John Wayne Cancer booth. They had a bunch of runners, and I said, Greg, I need to get as many of your snacks as possible. And then I went to Don at Team World Vision, and I'm gathering bananas, and I'm taking things back out there as tables are empty. And so tables did get pretty empty. There were probably some people that other than water probably came away with nothing. And then I kept going back to our food vendor there. I ended up buying another 200 bars and a bunch of other chips and some other things. We kept moving them out there. And it's unfortunate. Our volunteers were probably saying, please take what you'd like, everyone was just doing it. I'm not gonna say it was, I don't know who was, where the problem existed, but there were people taking way too many things. So we had way more than we needed for our amount of runners out there. We easily had 6,000, 7,000 of everything. In fact, more than that of other things. And so we ran out of quite a few of those things. So for anybody who came in late and who was surprised by the lack of snacks at the end, I apologize. It's something that shouldn't happen. And we were giving everyone a bag and letting them put it in themselves, so it wasn't being touched by our volunteers weren't touching things and handing them something and stuff. So we were thinking that was the way to go. And unfortunately, there were some people who got less than what they should have. So, our apologies for that.
No, that's unfortunate. We've actually had races where people have come through with their great uncle and his backpack and their friends and bib bandits, and there haven't been enough medals for athletes because people who didn't register, didn't actually run the course, took medals. And, perhaps the volunteers weren't as kind of strict as Rudy and I would be on somebody who hadn't deserved a medal, and they disappear.
Yeah, it's those kind of things happen. And we try. One of our things that we're going to do is try to educate our volunteers a little bit more about those type of things. In addition to that, there are people who would come through with a question, and a volunteer arrives and they're like, okay, they're going to give out snacks. We need to do a better job of letting them know, okay, where is the awards? Where is the Beach Cities Challenge medals? Where are the shirts to get for people who had their bib mailed to them, and now they just need to go get their shirt post event. So where are all the shirts for that? And we had people say, oh, I'm sorry, you had to pick it up yesterday or something. They just didn't know. And that's our fault. And so we need to do a better job of making sure that all of our volunteers have the answers to those things and can answer just about anything. So it's been a long time. I know that we were rusty, speaking of bananas, it was literally 5 days before the race. And someone said, Gary, what about bananas? And I'm like, oh my gosh, normally I have bananas ordered, I need 7,000 bananas, and you don't just go to Piggly Wiggly and get 7,000 bananas. You know what I mean? So, it's just, you get a little rusty after not doing it for a while. So we'll get back.
If that's what rusty looks like, you guys are pretty badass. Okay. So we have a bunch of new viewers, and I'm going to replay the original video so they could have a peek. Maybe they're in it. And then our viewers, if you have any questions for Gary, Kelsey, Rudy, or I, comments, any questions about this year or next year, let us know, because we'll be wrapping this up soon. All right, back to our show. can watch it over and over and over again, right?
Man, I just can't wait to put that on our site and tell people they need to be there. Look what you missed. You can't miss that next year.
Yeah, we got so much. So tell me what's in store. Tell us what's in store for 2022.
Well, we'll bring back the full marathon. That's the biggest thing. So,
and the kids run.
And the
kids run the OC.
So, we're going to have 6 or 7 or 8,000 kids on Saturday morning. What an exciting morning that is. And then the full marathon will be back. We already have probably 800 people who had been registered for the marathon who've deferred because they wanted to not just do a half, or they went up and did that other race that was north of us. And so I think we're going to already have a good group there in the full marathon. Other than that, the big, I think, exciting news that we're planning on for next year is the inaugural Celebrate OC, which is going to be such an exciting extra addition to the weekend. And what I mean by Celebrate OC is we're going to have a celebration of all the bands, the brands, the teams that make up what Orange County is. And we hope to bring the Ducks back, the Angels, and other sports teams. We're going to have some of OC's largest brands involved, and just make it a big community celebration with a sporting event attached to it. So that's probably the biggest of all news. Some great vendors as well with an enlarged footprint for the expo. I don't know what music we'll have on the stage, but before 2020 was canceled, we had 8 bands scheduled, and a couple of them are bands that people would recognize their names. So, we'll just have to see what happens for 2022.
Exciting. Kelsey, what would you like to add?
I'm excited to get the kids run back going, to just have a few more people there. I felt like this weekend was like a good introduction back into what we love to do, but there was a few people missing for sure. It felt a little, maybe more on Friday and Saturday, like Saturday morning. I felt like we were looking at each other like we need to be doing more, especially since we're usually doing the kids run. So I think there will be some good energy coming from that. And then the fact that we get to turn around and do this again in 6 months, I think a lot of these things will be more fresh in our brain, and we'll be able to just make it bigger and better just because we just did it, So I'm excited to turn around and do it all over again in a shorter time period.
Yeah, that is very exciting. And it goes to show what a well-oiled machine you guys are, that you put on this colossal event this weekend and felt like we're not doing enough. So many other race organizations, if they put on what you just put on, they would be still in a coma, sleeping. And you are accustomed to so much more, which is pretty impressive.
I'll go back to that great team that includes so many of those people that we opened it by saying what we remember was seeing all these people part of our team that we haven't seen for a long time. And really, Kelsey and I are able to look at each other and go, wow, this seems easy, because we have such a good group of people who have been with us for many years and great volunteers. And that's what really makes our job easy. So, and I had a voice at the end of this weekend. Normally with the kids run, we're yelling like crazy to keep kids in their chutes and to reunite them with their parents. And by the time Saturday afternoon happens, I don't have a voice, and Sunday, forget about it. So this year, here Monday comes and wow, I still have a voice. And Rudy, I'm telling you what, I see Fitz early in the morning on Sunday morning, and Fitz has got this. Her voice sounds like she's not going to have a voice. And I
heard you were a little concerned. You never should worry. Not with her.
It's like, it's cracking and next thing you know, all of a sudden she wakes up and wow. And by the end of the afternoon, when she's been calling people's names for the last 4.5 hours. Her voice is as strong as ever. I don't even know how that's possible, but it's crazy.
And he asked me, he goes, how do you have a voice? You didn't have a voice this morning. I was like, I just do. I knew I would have it. It sounded horrible. I was like, it's fine.
No, it was amazing. I was so surprised because after the morning, I thought, well, by the afternoon, I'll be announcing, but no.
You know what's so interesting, and I think I've been tested in unique ways over the past couple of years. No matter what, when it comes to this work that I love, my body will live up to the challenge. I have no doubts about any parts of me. If you give me a stage and a microphone and thousands of happy runners, I will figure it out.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
That was a great year. So
thank you. So Rudy, what would you like to add to this? Because you always have some.
Well, I'm just excited to be back for the whole weekend working with you guys, and working with you, being next to you, asking you to take a break, you saying no, I'll miss somebody coming in, and we fight over the microphone, and it's hey, it's and having the kids back, that's just that's huge. Having the marathon back, I think, I just think that in another 6 months, also perhaps people will be that much more comfortable being in mass, being together in big numbers again. I think the expo will get a larger percentage of people coming through and enjoying it. I think the after race parties are going to be even more party, and I'm just looking forward to it. I hope you guys are. It's like you just got dusted everything off, and it's like, wow, we got to get started.
No, but, I think you're right, and we have seen some resistance with runners who, even up in the last weeks before our event, just saying, you know what, please defer me. I just don't feel comfortable. That was getting less and less. We were noticing it. So I think you're right. As we've gone through this one, we've held a successful event. LA had a great event. New York and so many other biggies. I think people are starting to see that, and hopefully that bodes well for all of us for 2022, because it has been it's been a tough road for everyone, and certainly events like ours, when we ask 10,000 people to get shoulder to shoulder, it's quite different than what we've seen for the last 30 months.
Well, I can tell you that it looked like everybody was just really freaking happy to be together. It's been long enough. 900 and how many days?
Yeah, 915.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. To go out in the fresh air and exercise amongst other healthy people, I think it's about dang time. And yeah, 6 months is too long. So if we can maybe do this once every month. Perhaps.
Well, speaking of that, in just 1 month from tomorrow, we have the Run for a Cause. And the Run for a Cause, so anybody who's listening, you can do it virtually, you can do it in person at UCI. But the Run for a Cause is when you run for a cause, you can run for a cause. And we hope to be one of the largest toy collection sites this year for Salvation Army. Kids need toys more than ever this year. Or donations. Salvation Army does so much good for families and everything else. And so that event is 1 month away. And so we'd love to see a bunch of people out there for that one too.
Yeah. And where can they register?
Runforaclause.com. On that one, prices are going up. Kelsey, Sunday.
And it's a holiday themed race. Everybody, do they get the beard this year? Do they get a beard?
We're going to call that the mask. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. They get the beard. They get
a hat and socks.
Some really cool socks, Christmas socks. And then
in the medal.
Really good medal. So, and lots of fun and all kinds of exciting stuff.
So that's the language you got to speak with our runners. They go, okay, but what do I get? I'll bring you toys. I'll come run the distance, but what am I going to get? And you got to say, well, you're going to walk out of there with this beard. You're going to get this beautiful Santa beard. I would sign up for a Santa beard, just to be clear. That's all you have to say. And Santa Rick will be there.
Santa Rick will be there. Seriously, he's the only person I've ever spoke to on the phone that just naturally ho-ho-hos. So I'm telling you, he's the real deal. And it's amazing.
That guy is always in character.
Always.
12 months a year.
I want to
so
be Mrs.
good.
Claus.
What do you mean in character?
Thank you.
What do you mean? It's Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Santa's the best. Yeah. All right. So on that note, this was an incredible weekend. Gary, Kelsey, Rudy, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be a part of it, as per usual.
Well, thank you to both of you guys. Rudy, thank you so much for coming down. It was a lot of work to have you come down here on Saturday and spend time with us for the 5K. And I know that you had to get back up there. So thank you for doing that. And I know
Pleasure.
Fitz was able to come spend some time up there with you at the Big 5K up there. So that was an amazing kind of a move for both of you guys to give everyone on both sides your presence. So that was great. Thank you guys for doing all you do for us. And Fitz, thank you for everything for these shows. I do want to make sure that we I got talked to obviously our fantastic sponsor at the SDCCU. I know they want to come in here and talk one time, so we're going to try getting something set up right away for them.
Okay.
But again, thank you to everyone who's watching right now. We hope to have you back in 2022. It's going to be a great medal. I just started designing it today. The Beach Cities Challenge medal. We just announced it today. You got to meet Ray. It's our new Stingray for the Beach Cities Challenge. It's so cute. Got a little smile on back, and really, it's pretty neat. So we can't wait to see everybody in 2022, May 1st.
May 1st. All right. Well, congratulations to all of our athletes this year. And hopefully we'll see you all at Run for a Claus and OC Marathon 2022. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Love you all.
Thank you.
Bye now.